That's one hell of a cannon.
That's a problem.
Why?
You go out in the battlefield with this pecker sticking out of your turret, and the enemy's gonna unload you with all they got. Might as well paint a big red bullseye on the side.
But it's a troop carrier, not a tank.
Do you want me to put a sign on it in 50 languages? I'm a troop carrier, not a tank. Please don't shoot at me.
This was gonna be so beautiful.
This is PVA Blood with a 1000 subscriber special. You're going to check out the RAMPART Wolverine Tank made by Archon Studio. They've got a Kickstarter going. Check it out. Links are in the description. Ooh, pretty art here. Some of the early prototype designs. This tank is a pretty sweet little kit. It could easily be substituting a Lehman Russ or a Chimera Transport, or even perhaps a Taurox. Lots of detail. It's got these little extra pieces you can stick on to add supplies and tools for the tank crew, as well as options to have the hatches open. A lot of detail that I'm really appreciating seeing in a third-party design. And the hatch will open and close without the use of magnets. So this is designed with a high degree of attention to detail. You can also leave the roof panel unglued. Lovely. This tank has already been primed grey, and we are now going to be hitting it with some black spray paint. The masking tape is going to be creating a lovely urban camo effect. I did decide to keep these side hatch panels off the model because it does have some exposed engine parts you're going to be able to see through the grating, and I'm going to want to detail them before it's finally glued together. Don't worry if the paint is a little bit fuzzy or a little bit too much appeared in some areas. Trust yourself. And if you can't have a bit of trust in yourself, trust me and my videos. No, just common sense. And Wild Rider Red with a bit of sponge to create some fun details on the side of your tank. Follow that with a bit of lead belcher to pick out the metallic details, such as the tank treads, the engine interior, and any piping. There's also spare tank treads, which I think is a nice model detail on this kit. I just think that the silver is looking quite nice with the black and orange there. It's like a red, but you know, it's adjacent to the color. There's also some barrels and a piece of timber on the back. A little bit of character detail. Coming in with some white, and I'm just dry brushing the entirety of the model, even the orange sections and also the silver metallics. You could call this done, really. That could be a really fast speed paint. This is tournament legal. You've also got the hatches there. Do not forget to dry brush them. And I'm not going to glue on that roof section. I want to be able to see the interior. I'm just enjoying that door action. Satisfying. ASMR alert. Rhinox hide. Ushabti bone. I'm using these colors to pick out some details, like the handles of the shovels, the cloth dust cover on the top of the hull, goblin green for the lenses, and just whatever metallics I had lying around for those little engine panels on the side. So this green, I'm just generously applying it to any of the screens and lenses on the tank, inside or out. And I'm also just using a bit of orange to pick out some of them as well. I want them to sort of be red targeters. Rhinox hide for the timber, so it makes sense to paint up that big chunk of timber on the back. And I'm just dry brushing a bit of white over the Ushabti bone on the dust cover. And I used some Ushabti to dry brush the timber afterwards. Now, the good stuff, the special stuff. You know it, I know it, we love it, non-oil. They say it's bad to use a whole lot of non-oil on your models. Well,
I am evil Homer. I am evil Homer. I am evil Homer.
just follow it up with a sponge to stop it collecting in particular areas too much and to give it a nice weathered effect. So I'm just hitting non-oil on everything except the dust cover, but I am also getting those orange sections. You might want to wear a glove if you're using it in the quantities that I am. I'm using some of that Agrax for the aforementioned dust cover, just to make it, you know, look like some weathered dust cover. And also on the timber, just to darken it up. This is going to be like a really deep oak, probably something from the homeworld. Came in with some Uriel yellow just to pick out this fun little detail of a radioactive warning sign they've got on the top of the hull. The known oil itself is dry, but I'm coming in with some agrax on the underside of the tank. I'm going to be hitting all of the tank treads and any of the areas that I think are going to be particularly exposed to the mud and grime that one would expect as a tank drives around an active battlefield. I'm coming in with a sponge. The difference being, before I was just soaking up the excess, this time I'm keeping it slightly damp and spreading around the agrax. So this is going to be mud and oil that sort of accumulates on the underside of the hull and just adds to the weathered effect. Really grimy diesel punk, that same sort of energy. Don't need a lot of precision, in fact, less is better. Fast, simple, very cool looking, just makes me happy. Okay, I'm going to be using 2 more colors of green, each one just slightly lighter than the last, just to slowly build up the targeting lenses on the outside of the tank and the screens on the inside. You can see on the left here, I'm scrolling through the Kickstarter, you can see a whole lot of different designs they've got going for their terrain. Links together with magnets quite easily. They've got their own miniatures here that would fit in an Imperial Guard army. Some really cool designs here, nice aesthetic. And you can see reviews from some other YouTubers here. Take more than my word for it, check out these products. I'm not being paid for this, gotta be clear. I just think that, you know, they're pretty cool.
Kill Team Echo Aquila.
Wow, what a cool YouTuber. I should totally subscribe to them. Forgive my indulgence. Coming in just with some white and just a tiny little dot in the corner goes a really long way to help convey the sense that these are glass surfaces. Or crystal, or gems, depending what you're painting on, but in this case, glass. You could put some more details on these screens, but I'm just going for a healthy green glow. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Thank you for subscribing. 1,000 subscribers. This is just, yeah, it means a lot to me. Doesn't mean anything to YouTube, but I really appreciate that you're all here, and I hope you have enjoyed my content thus far. I have intentions of making more. And yeah, the Wolverine Tank by Archon Studios as part of their RAMPART Kickstarter. Check it out if you're interested. If you like this design, I think it fits perfectly in with an Imperial Guard army, Gene Stealer cult, anything sort of sci-fi. It's got that just ridiculousness, but a little glimpse of reality to it that you really enjoy with Warhammer, and I feel I've done a Grimdark aesthetic justice. Games Workshop could honestly learn from this design. The fact that I don't have to mess around with drills and magnets for the door. There is a nice detailed interior here. You know, you can actually fit models inside of it. Yeah, this is how I paint all of my tanks using this method. Leman Russ, Chimera, any of the variations in there, as you can plainly see. Here is a side-to-side comparison. This is a larger tank than the Leman Russ. You could pretty much proxy this as almost any vehicle in an Imperial arsenal, short of a Flamer or a Basilisk. One complaint, let's find a criticism, it only has one weapon option. A bit of variation would be nice. So the Chimera kit here, you can see on the right, I did magnetize. I can swap out the weapons depending on my opponent, depending what's in the meta. I mean, this is a proxy tank, it's not legal for tournaments anyway, and there's nothing to stop you from, you know, modifying that turret and sticking a plasma weapon on there, or maybe experimenting with magnetizing, but I was only given one tank for this review, and I thought it would only be fair to represent it as it sort of arrived. With that slight modification, obviously, I made to make it fit into my army. I thought, you know, what you see is what you get. And I think this is a great product. You can see there's some terrain here in the background. That's also part of their Kickstarter and in my other videos. Big thank you to the golden light-filled beings who are my subscribers, and the also quite excellent viewers who have checked out my channel up until this point. I really appreciate having you here, and I hope you've enjoyed the content thus far. I'm going to keep making it. 1,000 subscribers means a lot to me, doesn't mean a lot to YouTube, but I'm not here for them, I'm here for you. Check out my social media, drop me a comment, some suggestions. I'm open to criticism. Be safe, To be clear, this wasn't a paid review. I just got sent a kit and said, hey, do your thing, and I did.